Welcome to Visionaries Global Media, your number one source for podcasting entertainment. Visionaries Global Media, envisioning excellence on a global scale.
This is Banned from Ringside.
Tonight on the Banned from Ringside podcast, we have your G1 nights 1 through 3 recap. We also have Fyter Fest night 2 last night at AEW. Ric Flair's got his final match, and Zach has come back around on WWE Monday Night Raw is War. That and a whole bunch more tonight on the Banned from Ringside podcast.
Defend yourself, Zach. You got about 15 seconds.
Don't be talking over the signature at the beginning, Jason. Ditch that 9 to 5. It's time to feel alive. Hello, Marks, and welcome to the Banned from Ringside podcast. As always, I'm your host, Bill Vagey, a.k.a. Osh Squash Bagash. Sitting to my left. It's sitting to my left, as always, we have Jason Cornelius Bell. What's going on?
Unlike Titus O'Neil, I will promise that BFR is a safe haven for you and those that you love to hang out for the next 2 hours. So on that lovely note, I'll ask the congregation to bow their heads as I read from the latest edition of the Banned from Ringside podcast, volume 266, chapter 3, verse 14. And the good smart saying, hashtag boo the heels. It's all good, baby. Listen, share, subscribe, repeat. The Holy Trinity of BFR. It's tournament time all over the place. New Japan's G1, Toshio Joshi Pro Wrestling, the Princess Tokyo Cup, and one from Noah, all kinds of tournament. Jason's a happy man.
Do you really want to promise to the listeners that this is a safe haven for the next 2 hours? Because that's not something I would promise.
Yeah,
not
it's a safe
with
haven.
This guy out in Seattle, Washington. We have Two Beer, Zach Paul. What's going on, Two Beer?
BFR West in the house.
I do love that JCB analogizes himself as the Titus O'Neil of the podcast because we're just such terrible people that we got to send our black ambassador out into the world to convince everybody that we're not. And he actually does that job. Like, he really is the brand ambassador, global ambassador of BFR. So
I was going to say they're both old as fuck and they both went to college in Florida, but... Oh my God! He did not like that.
Okay, I'm gonna let you chastise me about talking over the beat. Okay, I'll give you that.
But you didn't
I will
talk over the
fuck
beat.
you up.
You
You put me and Titus O'Neil at the University of Florida in the same sense. I will reach over there and smack you silly.
You didn't talk over the signature. A little peek behind the curtain. I fucked up at the first time I was recording it. Jason had a real good laugh about it, and then I was getting ready to play the Visionary Network signature, and I could tell he was getting ready to say something. I said, don't talk over the signature. Anyway, out there on the West Coast, we have Two Beer, Zach Paul. What's going on, Two Beer?
Oh, shit.
yeah, I'm up in the Seattle area for work this week. Unfortunately, I'm in the suburbs of Seattle, so it's a lot of jerking off on cable television, really. But I am all caught up on WWE wrestling for the week, which is abnormal for me because I cut the cord a long time ago, and I normally don't have time for that shit.
You know what's funny is that we're still not going to talk about it.
I'm assuming we're going to say something about it.
We'll say something about it, especially if Zach watches it. I mean, that's fun. We're
Yeah,
coming at
they
you.
say shit. We got to take advantage of it.
We're coming at you from sweaty St. Charles, Missouri. It's fucking hot out here. It's not as terrible as it has been. It's also not as good as it has been. It's pretty fucking hot out here. But, you know, we're going to do our due diligence. We're going to bring the people what they want, which is, it's G1 time, boys. This is the most wonderful time of the year. This is the true WrestleMania, and I've been excited to talk about this. I assume everybody's caught up on all 3 nights?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, not only that, I've literally watched every match of all 3 nights. It's not common in G1.
I was going to say, who you, me?
He wasn't lying. He really is bored out there. Let's get to that recount.
1, 2, 3.
Jason, what's the one count?
I hate to waste your lead in with talking G1 and then switching to something else. So let's stick to good portions of what we as the BFR crew love to talk about. The G1 Climax 32 tournament did start. 3 nights to go over. I don't know how you want to break it down. You want to talk about night by night? You want to talk about individual people?
Let's go night by night. Let's. I mean, it was 12 matches. We don't have to spend a ton of time on everyone, but I mean, I think that all 12 were worth talking about at least.
So, like we had said earlier, leading up to this, they're doing a match from each block, A, B, C, and D, 4 blocks, 7 guys in the block, and it's kept to that. At least formula for the most part. I'm assuming they would change it as we go along. But night 1 opened up with Hanare versus Tanahashi in the C block. Hanare with a big-time win over Tanahashi, a clean win, which I think is more of important. If you want to start pushing the younger stars like New Japan has kind of said that they wanted to do, I'm not saying that Hanare is going to be a future world champion at any point. I can see him being an heavyweight champion. I can see him going off to other places and holding their mid-card titles. Hanare has been the one guy from the United Empire that hasn't really jumped off, broken out, whatever you want to use in the sentence. I would say this started the tournament off the way that I expect G1 tournament matches to happen. There's going to be some upsets, and this came out firing like I expected to. Last year was Yujiro and Kota Ibushi with the first upset, first round, first match. We came out right out of the bat with Hanare going over Tanahashi. Like I said, clean as a whistle. Thoughts?
Zach, your thoughts?
Yeah, definitely nice little upset here. You know, typically on the first night you do have some kind of upsets, or maybe not even necessarily just the first night. Early in the tournament, we kind of established some upsets just because Gato likes to break brackets right at the beginning and subvert expectations. So, yeah, I mean, Tanahashi is great. He's not as great as he once was, but he's still great. And this wasn't like an amazing Tanahashi G1 match, but made Hanare look good, which he doesn't need a lot of help. Like, he's a good wrestler.
He's got a great look.
You know, large presence. Yeah, got a great look. So, yeah, happy for him. And he gets his first G1 victory of his career over arguably the greatest wrestler in New Japan Pro history. So
I was pleasantly surprised with this upset. You know, we talked last year about how Hanare, how many wins he might pick up or not pick up is what we were talking about. I was pleasantly surprised with this. Tanahashi, you know, he's looking a little slower these days. He kicked out of he kicked out of a 2 count here in this match, and I was like, he barely even kicked out of it. He barely even kicked out of that. Like, it was like, I'm not saying he wasn't trying. I'm just saying dude looked a little tired to me. So, you know, go out lying on your back. I'm not saying Tanahashi's going anywhere. I am saying that I love this. I love that Hanare got the win. As Zach said, subverted expectations. As a side note, I don't want to get into a digression too early here, but I was all caught up on everything at noon today. So my afternoon was all cleared up. What was I going to watch while I was answering emails at work? And I took advantage of the New Japan the historical matches, and I watched Tanahashi Nakamura from Wrestle Kingdom 2014 for the title.
So that was like 11 or 12.
Something like that. And
it might be earlier than that.
It might have been 2012.
No, I meant like the number of Wrestle Kingdom.
It was earlier than that.
Okay.
It's incredible, as you might imagine. It was fucking incredible. But anyway, I was happy with this outcome. What's next, Jason?
ELP versus Will Ospreay in the D block. This is one of the matches that I personally was looking forward to, and it did not disappoint at all. Will Ospreay goes over clean. For me, the takeaway is ELP. ELP kind of made me really think that he wasn't going to win it, but I think he has a future, I guess, better choice of words, in the heavyweight division if he decides to continue that route. I'll just finish up the rest of the night one, and you guys can talk about it from that point on. Jay White in the B block defeats Sonata. Not a huge surprise. We all kind of said that Jay White is going to run the table. So far, so good. And then the main event of night one, you had Okada versus Jeff Cobb. We had talked about this leading up to it, and especially after last year where Jeff Cobb both of them had an historical run, and then they had to actually meet each other in the A block final. Obviously, Okada won that. Okada wins this time around as well. So Jeff Cobb seemingly feels like Okada is the one roadblock that he cannot overcome. So night one winners in order: Hanare, Will Ospreay, Jay White, and Okada. Go ahead, gentlemen.
Zach, what's up?
Yeah, I mean, Okada Cobb was really good, which we expected it to be. We've seen this match a couple times, and we knew it was going to be good. I love the story of the match where pretty much anything Okada can do, Jeff Cobb can do. It was Jeff Cobb doing all of Okada's moves, which was pretty fun. But yeah, worthy main event. But I think match of the night for me was Will Ospreay and Phantasmo. They just went out there and just murdered it right out of the gate. It was super fast, less than 15 minutes, but it was just so fast the whole time. And didn't really rely on the comedy spots, even though I think El Phantasmo did a back rake in here because he can't get away from not doing a back rake. But really fantastic. And I love the finish of this match where basically Phantasmo goes for a pin and he's arguing with the ref about a 3 count, and Will Ospreay just hits him out of nowhere with his blade while he's arguing. So
that was a great
super
finish.
Fun, creative finish. Yeah.
No, he murdered his ass with that. Out of the first 3 nights, that's my favorite match so far. With me and New Japan, it's hard for me to have this high bar and them always meet that high bar. This is one of those times where I thought they did it. They did it well. Like I said, ELP's got a future if he wants to hang out in the heavyweight division for sure.
Yep. Yeah, I think for me too, this is the match of the tournament
so far
for me.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, I don't know if it was the match of the tournament so far with me. It was as good as you wanted it to be. As good as you wanted it to be. Will Ospreay can wrestle anybody and look fucking awesome. As Zach said, I love the finish. Will Ospreay should have gone over. I think that Will Ospreay is going to win. Everybody picked Will Ospreay to win this block. So, yeah, this match ruled.
Night 2, we open up with
What? Sonata and Jay White.
You want to piss on Sonata? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm not. I don't want to piss on him, but we didn't get to talk about Sonata and Jay White. You did. Or did Zach talk about Sonata and Jay White?
No, I glossed over it.
I'm sorry, Tom Brady. You want me to shut the fuck up? I'll shut the fuck up.
I'm glad Jay White went over. And then Okada Cobb. So, Jason, I want to go back to something that you said last week about Okada Cobb. You said whoever won this match was going to lose to Yano. I believe that match is the next night.
Yes.
It's July 23rd.
Yeah,
so next week
coming up. I think that's Saturday, right?
Well, we're going to have 4 G1 nights to talk about next week, and
Okada and Yano is going to be one of them. I think it's Saturday, but don't quote me on
night 4 through night 7. I said on the podcast last week that I love that pick. I love that prediction, and I am looking forward to Yano Okada.
I don't know if that's going to go down now.
Chaos will reign.
Yeah, right.
Okada Cobb was as good as you expected it to be on night 1. I love this match. I liked it as much as I liked Will Ospreay versus ELP, to be honest. I just like I like the mashup of styles between Okada and Cobb, and I like Cobb doing all of Okada's moves. It was especially badass when he did the tombstone pile driver onto his knees and then stood up off of his knees and did another pile driver on Okada. That was a special.
Okada reversed it.
Oh yeah, Okada reversed that one when he went for the second pile driver.
He got dipped tombstone with his own. You're right.
Which was very impressive by Jeff Cobb.
Oh, I mean, it's impressive on both sides. I mean, it just reinforces why Okada's the man and Jeff Cobb is the next coming of the man.
I hope so. It fucking ruled. It was a great beginning to the tournament. All right, Jason.
Night 2, we open up with Taichi versus Tomohiro Ishii. God damn, Ishii is just he confounds me in this scenario where this is a match where I think he should win, and he didn't win, and that's okay. If he's going to lose, I want him to lose to somebody that should be getting some sort of a push, and that's Taichi. Taichi wins the opening match of night 2. Yano versus Jonah, obviously, fuck Yano first and foremost. Yano wins by double low blow, and then a count out with Jonah and bad dude Tito on the outside trying to double team him. ZSJ versus Kenta in the C block. Kenta scares me sometimes because I think he be hitting these fools for real. I mean,
damn, he was beating
the shit out of Zack Sabre Jr. Zack Sabre Jr. does turn around and gets the win. And in the main event of night 2, you had Shingo versus Juice Robinson. Juice Robinson running around with the U.S. title and not being the U.S. champion. I thought this was going to be easy speasy, lemon squeezy for LIJ. Not so much. Another upset. Juice Robinson goes over Shingo in the main event of night 2.
That was shocking to me. Juice winning against Shingo was shocking to me. Was it not shocking to you? You look like you might have seen it coming. Did you see it coming a little bit? Jason?
A little bit, yeah.
You
I mean,
a little bit.
I don't like the fact that it's Shingo taking the L, but if you're going to keep Juice Robinson hot and build that up to the eventual Will Ospreay Juice Robinson match, Juice Robinson's going to have to be.
That shit was also clean.
It was a clean win. That's what I think. I'm so more just kind of in disgust about than anything else. You know, it was a little distraction, but he did yak him with the left hand of God, and he took it on with Pope Friction. So at that point, you know, it is what it is. It's not House of Torture shit, but there was a little smoke and mirrors, if you want to go that route.
I loved Tai Chi versus Ishii. I loved it. It was a hard-hitting, typical Ishii-style match where those motherfuckers were hitting each other also, and Tai Chi ends up winning with the Black Mephisto on Ishii. Oh, Zach, what'd you think about this match?
Tai Chi versus Ishii?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was awesome. It really kind of goes to show, so hard-hitting for sure. Ishii looks like he is murdering dudes. Like, he looks like he's chopping guys right in the throat and stuff. And he's just not. He's just, like, that good. Like, I was watching him, and I was watching real close, and I rewound it a couple times because I'm like, man, he looks like he's just chopping these guys right in the Adam's apple. But, like, he stops short, and he, like, cups their shoulder. Like, the impact is, like, the palm of his hand to their shoulder, and it's not his forearm on their neck, but you like have to look really hard because otherwise it just looks like he's just hitting you right in the Adam's apple over and over. He's a genius. He's so good. He's all about hitting dudes very hard in safe places, and in that aspect, he's the opposite of Kenta. Kenta's just a dickhead. He was just open hand palm striking Zack Sabre Jr. Like, I mean, those are as hard as like actual like punches.
It was like, you owe me some money, ZSJ. Where's my money?
Yeah, and I mean, I love the match.
Tai Chi Ishii was a match where, you know, usually, you know, I might be peeking at my phone during stuff. I put my phone down for the last 15 minutes of this match. I was into it. Yano Jonah. Now, we all predicted that Jonah was going to have a good tournament. Putting him on his very first match versus Yano, I question, you know, I usually don't question the booking of Gato, but it doesn't put Jonah in a very good spot to endear himself to a New Japan audience that might be new to him if he's going to be fighting in a comedy match in his first G1 match. Am I wrong about that, Jason? You're giving me a funny look.
I think you sound like me on this one, and I was just I guess I'm going to be you on this, on the flip side of it.
Funny look?
Yeah,
like,
because
damn, you're right, motherfucker.
No, I think you're wrong. I think that Yano, losing to Yano is not the end of the world. This is what he does. He is the upset special. Somehow, some way, he beats guys that he has no business beating. Case in point, leading up to this, all Yano did was run around anytime in the preview matches. No, I don't want to be on. I want to be in the ring. I want to be in the ring. He's always talking on the outside of the ring. They really never matched up until this G1 match. And then, case in point, like I said, here's the upset special. It didn't go down the way I thought it was going to go down. I thought it would be like a pin in the ring of some sort, but a count out is the same thing. It's still 2 points. That's why I'm saying. That's why I was looking at you crazy.
Did you like this match at all?
I like the fact that at least Jonah was presented strongly, and the way that he lost the match protected him moving forward.
So how many stars would you give it?
3.25.
Oh, fuck yeah. There you go, a little holiday. I got him to say it. I got him to say he liked the match. Zach, what do you think
Only
about
time
this
you
match?
ever heard me say that.
What do you think about this match, Zach? It was a long Yano match.
4 Yano match was long.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, super entertaining. I mean, I liked it. I know exactly what Yano is, and I appreciate Yano for what he is. Like, when I go to Tokyo, I plan on eating at Yano's restaurant, and I hope he's there. But,
What kind of restaurant does he have? And don't say Japanese food.
I think he's got, like, I don't even know.
It's like a Mexican
it's more
joint?
of a bar than no, I think it's more of a bar than a restaurant, but I think they have food. But he's there a lot, and they have wrestling on the TVs and stuff.
I bet he likes to eat, too.
You think?
Oh, you can tell. Yeah. But, yeah, and I think there's something to what you're saying, too, though, because to a Japanese audience, Jonah's really just been on Strong, and for a Japanese audience, yeah, he's big, he's imposing, he's facing Yano, and then he also has, Kevin Kelly said he has the longest break of anyone. He doesn't wrestle again, like in a tournament match, for like a while. And I think he's on.
It's at least a week.
Stuff,
I think he said it.
Oh, it's longer than that.
I thought it was 10 days.
I said this last week on the podcast. I was like, he goes a really long time between his first match and his second match, and his first match is a loss to Yano. I probably would have preferred, maybe they don't have big plans for Jonah. Maybe they think that Jonah's, in terms of, fighting for titles and things like that. Maybe the idea of Jonah is that he's there to replace Bad Luck Fale, in like his kind of role in the G1, where he's there to be a big guy that gets a couple wins, but ultimately doesn't really affect anything really that much. Still, like I texted you guys, I had an involuntary laugh out loud when Yano double low blowed him. I thought that, I did I saw him getting ready to do it, and then I fucking laughed out loud. I wasn't doing it. Jason wasn't with me. I wasn't doing it to troll anybody. I just literally thought it was funny. And the more I read about Yano, read people's takes on him, the more I realize that I am very much in the minority, especially on the American side of it. Like, people fucking hate Yano.
Him.
So, my birthday's November 15th.
Hate.
My birthday's November 15th. You guys can go
I
ahead
know.
and give me a Yano shirt.
I'm just going to order it and I'll
rock
just send it
a
to
Yano
you.
shirt
I will order it and I'll
everywhere
send
I
it
go.
to you. Don't worry
I'll
about
wear it in my Christmas card picture with my family.
No, you are not. Aaron Fahey is not going to let that shit fly.
All right.
I can tell you that is not happening.
Zack Sabre Jr. and Kenta. To me, this has been the match of the first 3 nights. This match was incredible psychology in a heel versus heel match. They never lost the crowd. Sometimes hard to do that in a heel versus heel. Kenta certainly looks like an asshole. He looks like a bigger asshole than Zack Sabre Jr., who looks like a fucking asshole. But when they were sitting down and asking each other to kick them in the back, and they were trading kicks, and Kevin Kelly goes, "Oh, you don't want to trade kicks with Kenta," and then Sabre Jr. came up behind him, put his shoulders down the mat, and did that thing where he puts both feet on the side of his neck and twists, and he did it twice. And Kevin Kelly's like, he's just smart. He's just so cerebral. I especially liked how Kenta had the match won twice.
Yeah.
Had 2 counts and then picked
Pulled
him back up.
I was just like,
to make a point.
No.
To make a point. I also really appreciated the way that how come I can never remember the other guy's name? The other announcer.
Chris Charlton.
Chris Charlton. I also like the way that Chris Charlton said that Zack Sabre Jr. has his method is if you don't tap out or pass out within 6 seconds of a submission move, Zack Sabre Jr. switches to another submission move, and then Chris Charlton started going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and Sabre Jr. would switch on like every time he did it. I was like, God damn, that is fucking awesome, and that only endeared me more to Zack Sabre Jr. I'm glad that he won this match. And I really enjoyed his backstage promo afterwards where he said he doesn't give a fuck about baseball and he doesn't give a fuck about New Japan. He's going to win the G1. Zach, any further thoughts on this? I know you said earlier that Kenta's an asshole, which he is.
Oh, yeah. No, this is fantastic. And I won't argue with you. This is one of my favorite matches in the tournament so far. I have seen some matches with Kenta, like when he was younger, specifically in like a 6-man or 8-man, and like he was really wailing on a young guy. I can't remember who it was. And the guy tagged in Yuji Nagata, and Nagata like taught him a lesson, like shoot style, like in the ring. Like Nagata like beat the shit out of him, and it was awesome because I mean Kenta, yeah, he's just an asshole. Like he hits too hard, and yeah, like Nagata got in there and taught him a lesson. But that's his style. I mean, he's a legend. Like we missed his prime as far as like in the podcast, but he was kind of senpai to Zack Sabre Jr. whenever Zack Sabre Jr. was in Noah, and they told that story where they get in the ring and Zack Sabre Jr. is like, "I'm senpai now, motherfucker," and I'm like, "Oh, this is awesome."
Yeah, so
and yeah, so you know, whenever the American Dragon Bryan Danielson, I mean, the whole reason he has the style that he has is because he wanted to be more like Kenta. So I'm not going to say anything bad about Kenta and the way they wrestle, but I wouldn't want to. I'd be very pissed if he was like hitting me open palm in the face if I did not consent to that kind of thing. But yeah, so it was fantastic, and yeah, like Phil said, the psychology where he had it won, and then Zack Sabre Jr. just you know, didn't give up, snuck the win. It was his own arrogance that, you know, pride cometh before the fall.
And then finally we had Juice versus Shingo, and Juice went over. We already said that we were all well, I was surprised by this. Zach, were you surprised by the finish of this match?
Totally. I was also surprised that it wasn't a better match, especially after the Zack Sabre Jr. Kenta match just kind of fell flat. I don't know if Juice is having a rough time coming back from his real, like, shoot injury. He had, like, appendicitis or whatever. Yeah. So he was, like, super tired, or he was telling he was super tired because he cut his winning promo from the mat, like half of it. But
they also said this was his first match in Japan, and I forget how long they said it was. Yeah, 500 days or something. So yeah, I mean, it makes sense that he went over, like, to establish him back to the Japanese audience. I don't know why it was at Shingo's expense, but I mean, maybe that just gets him over more.
It's got to be. He's got to beat somebody. I mean, good Lord, you know. Hang on. Ospreay, Yoshihashi, Shingo, Finlay, which is his next match, Juice, ELP, and Yujiro are the D block. So I mean, there's chances for him to win, obviously, with Yujiro, Yoshihashi. Chances for him to lose coming into it would have been Will Ospreay and Shingo. He won one of those coin flip matches. So I mean, it sucks because I think we all like Shingo, and you know, he was former world champion
for sure.
But I think it's kind of like, you know, like you said, it's kind of rebuilding Juice Robinson back up to the New Japan fans and that base. And then, like I said, if they continue that route where you have Will Ospreay and Juice as, you know, 1 and 2 in the D block, at some point their paths will have to cross. So not only are you battling for the D block, you're also battling for the possession for the U.S. title. So I mean, it's like the two dual stories going into one.
I created a samurai character on Elden Ring, and I've played about 60 hours of it, and his name is Shingo. So, yeah, I like Shingo, baby.
So, yeah. That was a John Wick thing, wasn't it? So, yeah, I'm saying I'm back.
There's the first image of John Wick 4, by the way. I don't want to digress. But,
shut up. Are you serious right now?
There's a first image of it. I think they're shooting 4 and 5 at the same time. So
there's going to be a 5th?
Yeah, there's 5.
Dude, I hope there's 20.
Jesus Christ.
Never stop making John Wicks.
Look, I'm not saying I'll say, don't get me twisted. I'm a John Wick guy. I'm just like, damn, you know, how many more motherfuckers can he kill?
People like, it's weird. Like 3 is like considered like the worst one. That's insane to me.
I don't get that at all.
No, that is insane to me.
That was the best movie theater experience I've ever had in my entire life.
Yep, me too.
I don't get that.
Me too. And it was me and Zach on a mandate.
Yeah, thanks for the invite, bitches.
You could have come with us. It was after the podcast one night.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I actually have to be responsible and, you know, put the podcast up and all that other good shit while you guys...
That was when I put the podcast up. It was at Shock City Studios.
I still didn't get the invite.
You were. I'll find the podcast. I'll find opening night.
I'll
find opening night.
I'm sure you'll go out of your way in the next 7 days to make this shit happen.
Wow. Oh my God. I think me and Jason need to start over tonight. All right. Night 3. Jason,
open it up.
I'm gonna go check on the baby. I'm gonna give you time to calm down.
Night 3, we open up with David Finlay versus Yujiro Takahashi. Peter in the house. Oh, Lord have mercy. Anyway, once again, we have another upset. Yujiro upsetting David Finlay with the help of Sho coming down and distracting the referee. The usual House of Torture fuckery. Next, you had Chase Owens versus Tama Tonga in the B block. I know this is Jay White's block to lose, but for me, the other story in the B block is Tama Tonga because a lot of the guys that ousted him from Bullet Club are in this block, so it's a chance for him to go down the line and pass out some receipts. He gets his first receipt passed out to Chase Owens with a win there. Bad Fale versus Lance Archer in the A block. The Monster block did not necessarily come off the way I thought it should have here, especially. Bad Luck Fale wins by countout over Lance Archer. And then the main event of night 3, you had one Naito versus Goto. I said it last week, and I'll say it again. Goto always rises to the occasions when G1 comes around, and he did it again. He broke a 5-loss losing streak to Naito in G1 tournament matches. He beats Naito clean in the main event of night 3. Two Beer, thoughts?
Yeah, that was the best match of the night. I watched this today, partly last night before Dynamite. I watched like all of the tag matches before Dynamite, then I watched Dynamite, and then this morning when I woke up, I watched the singles matches. And Goto versus Naito was by far the standout. This was the most lackluster night of all of the G1 so far overall. But that match was quite good.
Yeah, it felt like
Goto got a huge upset.
I'm not going to call it an upset. As much as, Naito is the more over guy, obviously the more accomplished guy, I can't consider this an upset in the sense of like Yujiro versus Finlay feels more like an upset just because you had the guy in the backstory coming into that. Well, yeah, because it's Yujiro won, but the backstory coming into it was like Yujiro was, kind of pissed off because people were saying last year because you didn't have Gaijins being able to participate, that's how he got into the G1. So, you fast forward this year, boom, here comes a Gaijin. Even though it was a ton of House of Torture fuckery, he gets the win. Hanari versus Tanahashi is more of an upset to me versus Naito and Goto. This was...
Oh, sure. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a huge upset. I did say it's a huge upset, but...
it felt like an upset
Goto
to me.
He's completely capable of beating anybody at any time, and I love that about Goto, and this keeps that legacy alive.
Yep.
But it wasn't what I was expecting.
Wait, are we talking about Goto Naito?
Yep.
Oh,
yep.
Okay. Yeah, so this very much felt like an upset also. Let's go back. I went in to check on the baby. Goto Naito was awesome. Absolutely awesome.
We said it, well, I'll agree with Two Beer. It's the best match of night 3, and the other 3 weren't exactly that great. So it wasn't hard. The bar wasn't exactly high, but it was still a really good match. To me, 2 parts, Naito first half, Goto second half.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes when Goto's on, Goto is on. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
okay, this shouldn't be a surprise. He pushes guys. Now, whether he gets W's or not is a totally different story, but it's not like he's going to come in and this is going to be a walkover kind of match.
No, not at all. I expected Naito to win. You expected Naito to win.
I expect Naito to win all the matches.
Yes, okay.
Come on.
All right.
Duh.
But I was pleasantly surprised with this. What the G and G1 stands for. Goto. I thought that Yujiro versus Finlay, I thought that was an upset also. Were you guys saying that was an upset?
To me, it's more so an upset than...
Now, I think that Yujiro doesn't win very much. You know how sometimes soccer coaches will tell their players to not have sex before matches because it calms them down too much? Yujiro's valet is clearly very fond of him, and I can't blame Yujiro for being very fond of her either. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. Is she naked underneath those fishnets? God damn. It kind of looks like when like one of the back of the house guys is dating one of the servers. You know what I mean?
Like, how the fuck is this shit happening? What the fuck?
Wait, the line cook got her?
You bullshitting.
And Serena Deeb's just standing over there like as the oldest server there. She's like, he's got a big dick. I mean, that could be the only thing. But I like this night. Bad Luck Fale and Archer doesn't really look very good on paper, and
I thought it would be better than this.
Yeah, I didn't. Wait, Bad Luck Fale went over, didn't he?
Yeah,
that is fucking stupid too. They had 2 countouts in the same block. That is strange to me. Tama Tonga looks on top of his game. Tama Tonga looked great. Chase Owens looks like he needs a fucking tapeworm, man. That guy has got some love handles, man. Look at that fat bastard. He should be wrestling with a shirt on, man. He should be wrestling with a swim shirt on.
Oh my God.
So much for that safe haven comment. We body shaming in the first count.
I just want everybody out there to take care of themselves.
I'll say this. I like Chase Owens. He's a good hand, and it's not a knock against. It's not.
No, he can wrestle.
And that's all I got to ask for at this point. He gave us a good match. He made Tama Tonga look good. Fantastic. Lance Archer coming back over and losing the Fale to me is not the issue. It's how he lost. That is a weak ass count out loss. I could deal with Yano punching guys low and getting back into the ring.
Double low blow.
Lance Archer is on the apron. And Fale knocks him down like 18 and he can't get back in to beat the 20 count. I'm like, come on, dog. Do better than that. I mean, like, bury Lance Archer underneath a box of rubble.
Yeah, no, I
do
agree.
it like that versus doing it like that.
I totally agree with that. I just think that Chase Owens should take a note from his cousin Kevin Owens and wrestle with a shirt on.
Stop.
Like, maybe I'd like him a whole lot more. Then you can embrace the fucking triple cheeseburgers at fucking McDonald's. Triple cheeseburgers at McDonald's are only $2.
Hey, man, look. God. 2 triple cheeseburgers and a large Coke at my McDonald's is $7.07.
The guy's been living in Japan for fucking years, though. All they eat is sushi, man. You can't get fat on sushi unless you're really trying. Come on, Chase Owens. Anyway, no body shaming here.
Right.
My match of the first 3 nights. By the way, I always tell you guys that I just cram all my wrestling into one day. Not in the G1. I try to watch it as it happens because it's so much fun to watch. I love the G1. Can't love it more. Very much looking forward to the next 4 nights. Let me look up.
Have you watched any of the undercard?
No, I'm not in a hotel room. Like, I'm not making fun. I just haven't watched any of the.
I only watched one of the nights while I've been here. I watched the other 2 back at home, but I will say you're missing out. And for those who are not watching undercard and haven't, because he hasn't had a match yet, you're missing out on Tom Lawler, who is a delight.
God damn.
The dude is wearing just the most ridiculous outfit, and he's strutting and he's clapping. And he does the thing like Okada does, where he takes the pants off for like Tai Chi, but he wears like essentially like Daisy Dukes, like he's wearing like denim Daisy Dukes. And when he takes off his shorts, he's just wearing more denim underneath.
Oh my God!
Now that sounds good. So I'm going to run quickly through the next 4 nights that we're going to talk about, and I really just want a really short answer from both of you. I'm going to name all 4 matches for night 4, night 5, night 6, night 7. You tell me which one you're looking forward to the most. Night 4 is Sabre Jr. versus Sanare, Yoshihashi versus Shingo, Okada versus Yano, and Ishii versus White. Who you like? What match you looking forward to the most?
Ishii versus everybody, baby.
Okay, Zach.
Ishii White.
I mean, yeah, it's Ishii White. Yes.
Yeah, just get ready to say it's hard to say otherwise.
The night after that, we have ELP versus Yujiro. We have Sonata versus Taichi. We have Jeff Cobb versus Bad Luck Fale, and Tanahashi versus Naito. Okay, we're just gonna skip it. Everybody's saying Tanahashi, Naito. Okay.
No. I was going to say Sonata versus Taichi. To be perfectly honest, it's the Peck Pop battle. These two motherfuckers are just that vein where the first part of this match is who can pop their pecs better.
Okay. Well, here's a strange one. I think we'll all have different answers for this. Great O'Connor versus Chase Owens, Kenta versus Evil, Tom Lawler versus Lance Archer, and Finlay versus Juice Robinson. I mean, it's got to be one of those last two, right? I'll say Lawler Archer just because we haven't seen Lawler yet.
What was the second one that you said?
Kenta Evil. I mean, it's not that. Come on.
Heel versus heel?
Oh,
Bullet Club versus House of Torture?
There's going to be shenanigans.
All over the place.
It's going to be overbooked. It's going to be overbooked like a barbed wire match in AEW. That's just a little tease for what's coming later. Zach,
That's accurate.
What match are you looking for? I know, Zach doesn't even, like, you say shots fired. Zach's like, yeah, that's about right. Yeah, it was overbooked. Zach, what match are you looking forward to the most?
Probably Finn Juice, just because the history.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were a tag team.
Tag team champs.
The next night, and this is the last one, Ospreay, Yujiro, Yano versus Bad Luck Fale. Holy shit. That's going to be a barn burner. Goto versus Hanare, and Ishii versus Tamatonga.
Ishii versus everybody.
Yep, Ishii Tamatonga for me, too. Actually, Goto Hanare could be great.
Yeah, because this will be another chance for Hanare to, get some more shine. He won his first match against Tanahashi. That's a huge win. If he can go back to back, he will be in the middle of this C block moving forward because, I mean, there's only, 6 matches, 7 total guys. He would win the first 2 matches, so he'll be at 4 points. Whoever wins the block can't be under double digits. Unless if it's 8, then everybody's lost twice or more. You know what I'm saying? So guys that are going to win are going to be double-digit guys with points. If Hanare can come out the first 2 nights with 4 points, shit. He in a good spot.
Who knows? Let's get to that. 3 counts.
No,
2 count. Sorry. 2 count. I mean, you got to start over.
I'm sorry you can't count.
What's funny about that is all my daughter watches is YouTube videos of this fucking teacher going 1, 2, 2 beer. What's the 2 count?
2 count is AEW Fyter Fest night 2. So this is in line with Shark Week, and I actually had the pleasure of watching this live. Actually not live because I'm on the West Coast, so it was 8 p.m. Pacific, so it actually happened like 3 hours before that. But it gave me enough time to get in front of the TV, and I don't normally watch it on cable from front to back, like watching the commercials and stuff. So interesting experience for me personally. That doesn't really matter for any of you guys. But this was an okay Dynamite. Definitely not as good as last week. Definitely not not to the quality of what you would add these like monikers that they do for Dynamite to kind of make them special. I don't know. We can get into it, but start out with Darby Allin versus Brody King, and this was a pretty good match. Darby Allin's just throwing himself at Brody King. Brody King is just tossing him down, and surprisingly, like in the idea of AEW, like the microcosm of AEW hierarchy, not like in kayfabe. In kayfabe, you're like, oh yeah, Brody King like absolutely beats him because he's massive and tough, and Darby Allin is tiny and tough. And but Brody King wins, which kind of surprised me, even though he won that Battle Royal and he's getting featured a little bit. Darby isn't hurting anything.
It's pretty rare that Darby Allin loses.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's kind of what I'm saying is he doesn't lose that often. So he loses. Brody King, just manhandles him. Malachi Black comes out and or basically Brody King's beating on Darby. Sting comes out for the save. Then Malachi Black comes out, lights go off, spits mist into Sting's face, and they're beating on both of them. And then Miro comes out. Miro's wearing sunglasses, may or may not have makeup on because he had gotten the mist previously. So, but he doesn't do anything. He just stands on the outside. So it's kind of like a slow build to go to commercial. So, the match itself, entertaining. Afterwards, little convoluted. I'm fine with kind of seeing where this goes. It could either go with House of Black as a trio versus Darby Allin, Sting, and Miro, building towards that, or maybe Miro's joining House of Black. I don't know. There's intrigue there. What do you guys think is going to happen?
I'll be honest. I don't want to see Miro with anybody. I want to see Miro just dominate on his own. The fact that you kind of have him in this feud, I get it, but I don't get it. It's a spillover from Forbidden Door, okay? But I mean, Miro's not doesn't need to be involved in, and I'll call it mid-card, upper mid-card, whatever. Miro's at the point now where it's championship, world championship, or bust. I don't care if it's ROH. I don't care if it's AEW. He should be in the main event picture. Now, if you want to wait and figure out who's the champion after All Out, fine. Knock yourself out. Miro should not be involved in this at any point.
What do you think about Brody King versus Darby Allin?
I agree. Two-Beer, the match itself was good. I thought that Brody King looked as strong as he should be looking. He threw Darby Allin around like a little ragdoll the way he should. He won the match. I don't think it's a big surprise just how the match played itself out. Darby is not Teflon, but he can absorb this loss. It's an easy loss to absorb. If you look at the two guys, it'd be like, okay, yeah, I can see why you lost. Sting versus Malachi Black, I guess, is the next kind of running storyline with that. I'll be honest, I'm a little more intrigued with that versus now Brody King versus Darby Allin. We've kind of seen that. We've seen where this is going. I want to see if they want to put Malachi Black over Sting. That's what intrigues me.
Brody King, Darby Allin was tremendous. Tremendous. That's exactly what a big guy versus a little guy. That's exactly how it should be booked. Too often these days, I feel like size is taken out of the equation because people want to see 5-star matches and people want to see, they just want to see 5-star matches. They want to see work rate. There's lots of times where, I heard somebody say the other day, there's, people want to see little guys want to do suplexes that don't look like they're trying on big guys, and big guys want to do moonsaults off the top rope. But really, if you like professional wrestling, if there's any inkling in you that likes old school wrestling at all with kind of a new twist, then you have Brody King versus Darby Allin. You have Darby Allin getting thrown around like a fucking rag doll, man, and you have Brody King ending up going over. Tremendous. I loved it. I loved the way it was booked. I loved the pacing of it. I loved the work of both guys. I've always said I'm a fan of Darby Allin's in-ring work, and I thought he was tremendous in this match, and I thought Brody King was also like fucking awesome. With the Miro stuff, I agree with Jason. I don't want to see him with anybody. There are no lone wolves in AEW. It'd be nice to have one. I mean, Moxley used to be one. He's not one anymore, obviously. He's in Blackpool Combat Club. I want to see Miro by himself.
For sure.
Sting, whatever. Like, Sting, keep doing your thing, man. People love him. God bless him. Keep him on the card as long as he wants to be diving around there, as long as he's still healthy.
Yep.
Like,
he's earned that right.
He's undeniable now. I mean, he really is like...
the most amazing career, the most amazing comeback I've ever seen of any wrestler, and that's not
Shawn
just me
Michaels.
being a Sting fan. Oh yeah, but like
Sting's older than Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels had a broken back.
Michaels had a comeback, but he was still like young.
I mean, Kurt Angle won an Olympic gold medal with a broken freaking neck.
I just mean for old guys, you know.
No, I just want to say it. No, I think that Sting's resurgence is nothing short of remarkable. He's obviously having fun doing it. Like, he's loving it. He's jumping off of fucking shit.
Everything.
He's getting caught by 4 guys at a time, you know. He obviously likes it. And my biggest thing against Sting was, like, it was all just fucking Stinger splashes and, you know, Scorpion death drops. And he's doing all sorts of shit now, man. Good for him. God bless him. He's, what is he, 64, 65 or something?
We just recently did his birthday, so he's in his 60s for sure.
I think he's 63. I think he might have just turned 64. So, all right, we had Cole Carter, formerly known as Two Dimes, interrupting a promo with Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs. So he's going to challenge Ricky Starks for the FTW Championship because that's important.
Stop.
And so that comes up later. We'll talk about it later. It was a little funny that Ricky Starks said last time we saw you were sleeping with the fishes, which all 17 NXT fans that watch AEW got that joke.
Man, I watch NXT and I didn't get that joke.
Well, I don't watch NXT and I got the joke.
I didn't know who the fuck he was.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Thought, who is this good-looking kid? He looks like Jimmy from Boardwalk Empire.
I didn't know it was him.
That's what he looks like.
I never tripped off of that until you just said that. He totally does. Obviously
Funny.
more built, but just, yeah, he does look at him. That's crazy talk.
I didn't know it was him, but once I found out it was him, it made more sense because I didn't know about that angle. But I couldn't have picked this guy out of a lineup. He was like 2.0 a year ago. Couldn't have told you who it was.
Well, as Tony Two Dimes or whatever the fuck his name was, he always wore sunglasses and like a fedora. It's like he never really wrestled without his sunglasses on.
Okay. See, that's where you watch more than I do. I just know the end of the end result was they threw his ass. They threw his ass into the lake. Okay, that's what I know. The fact that you watch that, you don't know that, that's crazy.
I watch it tangentially. Like
it's on in the background.
Yeah, I mean, I'm reading a book or fucking putting the kid away or putting the kid away.
Let me pack up the kid.
Like she's my golf clubs. I'm putting the kid away, you know. Wherever the fuck she sleeps.
Yeah, you know, just throw her around. It doesn't matter. I'm sorry, Mom. I'm a bad son. Go ahead, Two Beer.
All right, we had Jon Moxley and Wheeler Yuta versus Best Friends. This was the highlight of the night for me. I really liked this. The storytelling was really, really good. You know, the whole idea was that Trent Beretta hated Wheeler Yuta. He thought that he took advantage of his best friends, Chuck Taylor and Orange Cassidy, was sleeping on their couch.
Kind of did.
And
Kayfabe style.
And kayfabe style, he totally did. And then as soon as he saw a better, sexier, cooler group, he made his move. And, you know, he went and he stopped sitting at the nerd lunch table and he went and sat at the popular kids lunch table. And the popular kids rebuffed him for a couple days. But then eventually they're like, you know what? Yeah, Wheeler, like, you can sit here. So we had Orange Cassidy on commentary, which is always good for me. That.
To be honest, though, like, kayfabe style, if Wheeler Yuta did that, that would be like me playing bass for my old band, and then, like, you know, like the Strokes come along, and they're like, hey, Bill, do you want to come play bass for us on tour? And I'd have to be like, peace out, dudes that I know from St. Louis. Like, I'm going on tour, get laid, do coke, and play in front of thousands of people every night.
Yeah. Okay, and I'm sorry.
So sorry, Chuck Taylor. Sorry your feelings got hurt. Okay. Small potatoes.
Okay. Sorry, Trent. I know you doing your thing in New Japan.
They should change the name of the Best Friends to Small Potatoes.
Oh.
You a side dish, nigga.
Zach goes, oh.
You a side dish. I'm sorry.
Peace out.
Okay, even in the kayfabe style mode, I am not mad at Will Yuta at all, okay? The man is trying to aspire to the next level. Best Friends had took him to a certain point, and I'm sorry, that is the cap. If he wants to move up and be a better wrestler, he has to move along. There is nothing wrong with that. I watch way too many sports. This is, to me, one guy that's on a team that is okay or good, and he moves to the next team that's even better. I have no problem with Will Yuta moving on.
Yeah, I love this match, though. It had really great storytelling. And like I said, Orange Cassidy on commentary will never stop being funny to me. But it completely was so impactful to the storytelling when Wheeler Yuta ended up doing this super convoluted pin on Trent Beretta. And
Seatbelt.
Yeah, the seatbelt pin, and got the 3 count, and Orange just says, Chuck taught him that pin, and he throws his headset off. And it's like, my heart was breaking.
Man, I missed that. That sounds really good. That sounds really funny.
So sad. Yeah.
Side note.
Anyway, I will say real quick, sorry, before that side note, this match got me thinking. So there's rumors of Keita Omega coming back and All Out. Young Bucks don't have any belts. We know the trios titles exist right now, and the Elite sound like the quintessential example of holding those trios titles. But I think you give them to the best friends, because these guys are tried and true. They're great every night that you put them out there, and you got to give the people what they want. And I think that I think best friends should have those trios titles.
Can't argue with that. Did you guys see what Did you guys see what Jim Cornette said about Wardlow?
No.
It's like Jim Cornette, his whole money now is just based off of just hating on AEW. But he was talking about Wardlow, and he said, I'm speaking to Wardlow directly right now because he hated the way that Wardlow was presented in that match with Orange Cassidy. He's like, and then he goes, do me a favor. And he gave out 4 phone numbers, and it was Vince McMahon, Bruce Pritchard. He gave out his phone numbers on the podcast, and they beeped him out. He was like, call them. He's like, you need to sign with WWE. He's like, this promotion doesn't know how to build anybody. This promotion, he's like, you got over on your own. The promotion didn't do anything for you. You and MJF need to go to WWE as soon as possible. Jim Cornette I think it's a work now. I'm starting to think it's a work. I'm starting to think it's a work.
He's working his audience.
Yes.
I guess.
Yeah, he has an audience, and those are the people that continue to give him money. He's just a grifter at this point. He's like a carny grifter. He's just like Trump. Trump doesn't believe any of the shit that he says, but people give him money for saying it. Nah, that dude's all he cares about is himself and money. He doesn't care about anything.
Wait, are you talking about Jim Cornette still?
They're one and the same.
Okay.
I was going to say, does it matter?
Trump Cornette 24. Fuck that. Cornette Trump 24.
Yeah, I was about to say, we already saw Trump running the fucking country. We can get Jim Cornette a role. What the fuck? I will say this. Just one quick sidebar on the match itself. I kind of found it interesting that Best Friends was being a little heelish at certain points. Not saying that they're going to flip, but...
You mean after the chainsaw last week?
Okay, chainsaw aside, okay, I think that was more for us to get our giggle in and kick them out of the ringside area versus them, going down that heel road. We can, if you want to throw the chainsaw out there, that's fine. I just thought, especially in this particular match, I saw them being a little more heelish than I normally see them. I don't know if that's a scenario where they're trying to play into the jealousy of Trent versus Will Yuta, or this might be something bigger to come. It just felt like this wasn't the Best Friends team that I'm used to seeing, if that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, I think it was probably just more being pitted against the biggest babyface in the company. It was probably more.
I guess, and that was my other point. I guess I'm not a huge fan of singles wrestlers, even if they're singles champions, beating the established tag team.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because Best Friends are more tag team specialists.
Right, and this should be up their alley. I mean, I get it. It's Moxley and Will Yuta. It's more so Moxley than anything else. Moxley's not going to be on the losing side. Damn sure is not going to take the pin, but it just felt a little off where tag team specialists lose a tag team match to 2 singles guys.
Sure. So we had Daniel Garcia, calling out Yuta because they have a ROH Pure Championship match. First of all, all right, I'm looking forward to this pay-per-view.
Dude,
I'm especially
yes.
looking forward to
yes, sir.
FTR
Way more than
Briscoes.
Way more than SummerSlam.
Yeah, which we'll talk about FTR Briscoes coming up. But I'm looking forward to this pay-per-view, and we'll talk about the whole thing coming up. We'll do a rundown. But they got $50 from me last month. They got $50 from me the month before. I'm sorry, I'm not on the up and up on this one. I can't throw $40 out at this thing. My fandom of AEW cannot be a $50 a month fandom. I don't have that kind of just expendable income on top of how expensive everything else is in the world right now. I wish I did to support them. I'm gonna watch this, but it ain't gonna be on the up and up, and I feel bad about that because I really do want to see it. But I mean, if they would include it in the Honor Club, if it was the $10 a month Honor Club thing, then that'd be cool. But they're not.
No, they definitely need to get that shit together. No, they need to get that shit together in some form or fashion, especially when they were, kind of building this card, the Death Before Dishonor card on AEW. It's fine. I get it. You don't have that means to build it on another platform, whether it's, their own ROH show on Fill in the Blank channel, or like I said last week, you could do it on YouTube. There just needs to be a different ROH entity at this point. If you want to do a crossover from time to time with AEW, that's great. But ROH, especially now when you have this big pay-per-view coming up, it needs its own time to develop that pay-per-view card and then the roster along with that. So, I mean, I do get your point, but I guess for what it is right now, the landscape of it, this is the best that Tony Khan can do. He's doing it in Tony Khan style. It's boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, and I'm kind of fine with them being on the same TV show right now. That doesn't bother me as much. It's just asking me for that much money. It's very presumptuous.
Shit.
Because they come at us 4 times a year, and now all of a sudden it's literally every single month.
It's coming up right now where a lot of their pay-per-views have come up in a clump. Before Forbidden Door, there was only 4. Before ROH, there was only 4. So, like I said, Forbidden Door is probably going to be the 5th, AEW pay-per-view. Once they get,
which I'm happy to pay for.
Yeah, for sure. Once they get to a point where they have ROH with their own TV deal, hopefully with their own, channel, hopefully they can do ROH on its own the way that I grew up with it when it was on, Channel 30 on Sunday mornings and shit. I'd watch it then. That's what I'm looking for Ring of Honor at this point.
And even if it was $20, it's
Dude,
just a lot.
There's no way. There's no way you're going to get away with giving. That would be giving it away. Claudio versus Jonathan Gresham, I think, is going to be amazing. Briscoe's FTR 2 out of 3 falls, I think, is going to be amazing. Wheeler Yuta versus Daniel Garcia, I think, is going to be amazing. That right there is, for me, is enough to pay for. You can throw me anything else at that point.
How much is the pay-per-view?
I don't know. I was going to say
30. I think
it's
on
35,
Fight. Okay, it's on Fight TV. That's what I was going to say. I don't know exactly how much.
I'll pull it up right now, but I think it is. It's at least 35. It could be 40. I think it's 40. So that's where I was just I don't know. Maybe it's just me being A, poor, and B, cheap. But I'm just dude, come on. Every single month you're going to try to hit me up for this money.
If they were smart, they would just, make that a part of Honor Club and then build it that way. So now you have subs for Honor Club. You have the back library the way it's supposed to meant to be. And then you have people just like WWE and Peacock or whatever. Before Peacock, you had WWE Network. You wanted to watch the pay-per-view, you got to sign up for Honor Club.
That's what I mean. So they could do a pay-per-view every 3-4 months.
Yeah, for sure. Shit, do one every month.
$10. I'll pay $10 a month, but it's $35. It's $34.99. That's what it is.
That's not bad.
No, this is this is the 2016. Why are you showing me 2016? That still sounds right. $34.99 because that's what I thought it was originally. But yeah,
That's not bad.
It's just the difference between I'll pay $10 a month and then you show me a pay-per-view every 4 months or whatever. But it's just a different way of looking at it. I don't know, but that's my own personal take. I'm not saying it's bad business. I mean, shit, UFC, they charge like $75 like every pay-per-view, and then you have to be an ESPN Plus subscriber already. And like, so if you add up, if you watch all the UFC pay-per-views, it's like $1,600 a year. So at least we're not doing a UFC podcast. Anyway, we had some sports entertainment. I know I just mentioned Daniel Garcia, but he wasn't it.
Right.
It's the sports entertainment. We had some Swerve in Our Glory, and I swear to Christ, that's the last time you hear me say that name.
I said this last week too. I said that's the worst tag team name, right?
It's not a very good. I'd just rather you say Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland, be done with it.
I mean, that's worse than like overturning Roe v. Wade. It's bad. So,
okay, it's not a, once again, in the words of Bill Vagey, it's not a visual medium, but the face when you said that, my look is like, okay.
I mean, the name of your tag team should not be a sentence.
Yeah, like an actual like. Phrase.
Like that's my whole thing.
No argument.
It includes a prepositional phrase.
Yeah, it's an imperative sentence where the you is understood and the verb is swerve. It's like you swerve in our glory. It's like no, I don't. In fact, I reject this.
Fuck that, man.
Wholeheartedly.
Go ahead, black people. Go ahead, do your thing, baby. World champs in the house.
Oh man, I got something to say about.
Yeah, I did not like this segment.
Black people later on in the show.
Good thing I'm not going anywhere.
I got something.
This should be good.
No,
please go ahead.
No. It comes up later. It comes up later.
Let me get comfortable with this.
I got something to say about black people. Oh, I'm gonna let it rip.
All right, before we keep hijacking Two Beers spot, I'll just say this. The Swerve in Our Glory spot, my biggest problem with it is not even the fact of Swerve and Keith Lee. It's the fact that Tony Nese's ass comes out and gets dropped by whoever the rap artist is.
I don't know who this guy is.
I don't know who this guy is. Tony Nese cannot be getting laid out.
Oh, so Vice is here. Vice stopped by. Hello, Vice. Vice says it's Big Pun's son. What's his name?
Okay, Kevin Gates. Okay.
It was Kevin Gates. That's Big Pun's son.
Shit, that's what Bo says, and Bo knows.
I was getting ready to say it. Now that he said that, I can kind of see the smaller resemblance. I mean, especially.
I guess they all look alike to you, huh, Jason?
Yeah, I bet they look alike to you too. Motherfucking can't even tell Matt and Nick Jackson apart. You gonna
they
talk
ain't
shit?
Black.
They white. You should be able to tell the white people apart.
No, I shouldn't.
Yes, you should. As a white man, you should be able to tell the white people apart. You leave me with the color.
I can
folks.
tell Swerve and Keith Lee apart.
Look at you.
Swerve's a big one. Swerve's a big one,
Look
right?
at the brain on Big Brad.
Swerve's a big one?
Yes. I don't like that Tony
Keith Lee
Nese.
has the limitless pass of the Golden Buffet.
YouTube body shaming.
As Jason said, this is your safe haven, listeners. This is the safe haven.
Save yourselves, motherfucker.
All right, Zach, go ahead.
So some sports entertainment. This could have been deleted, but it lets them have a little bit of a moment with the belts and kind of a celebration for them. And then it got some the first of 2 Atlanta rappers on the program. So we got some mainstream media. And honestly, when I Googled Kevin Gates, the first thing that popped up was TMZ, and it was him on AEW last night. So good for them. I mean, I get why they did this.
Mm-hmm.
Also, usually when there's a cake in the face situation in wrestling, the person doesn't always take the whole cake in the face. Mark Sterling took every bit of cake into the face. There was not a single bit of Mark Sterling that was not covered in cake. It was perfect.
Yeah, that is so
WWE.
WWE 4th of July SmackDown type shit. It's it's a holiday SmackDown. So somebody's taking a cake in the face, and it's going to be Chad Gable or R-Truth or something. And it's like it's just. I thought you guys were supposed to be the alternative.
I didn't like it. No, I didn't like it, but it's actually further back. It's older school wrestling than that, because WWE does that terrible shit on the the holidays and stuff. But this was like very old school wrestling, like the cake in the face, the pie in the face thing. It's older than that. I'm not saying it's particularly great or anything. It's just this was a very old school angle, in my opinion.
That's the track you're going. That's what. Okay, all right.
He died on that hill. Let him die.
All right.
Let him go.
I mean,
we can kick him up. He dead. Let him go.
All right. What was next?
I don't know. Varsity Blondes versus Christian Cage and Luchasaurus. This is interesting. I'm interested to see what you guys think about this. So, basically, Luchasaurus runs through these guys just in time for Christian Cage to get the pinfall. But
I like how Christian Cage, he got tagged in and he told Luchasaurus, he's like, get the fuck out of here.
Bitch. Get on.
That was my favorite part of it.
I was
Get
like,
the fuck
damn.
out of here.
Like, dude, come on.
So good. It was so good. But then Jungle Boy's music hits, and, the Baltimore, and everybody goes crazy. And Jungle Boy comes out, with the chair. He's got the equalizer. Luchasaurus stands in the way, and they look at each other, and Jungle Boy kind of grabs the chair like he's ready to hit Luchasaurus, and Luchasaurus just steps to the side and lets Christian Cage run. So I didn't love this. It popped the crowd. But Luchasaurus is heel for like 3 weeks. I was really into this Luchasaurus heel shit. Like, what? It seems just incredibly rushed to me. So if you want to timestamp, we can timestamp all the time Zach's critical of AEW because it does exist. You're
actually very fair. No matter what Jason says, you're actually very fair. No, I'm being honest. The pie in the face thing gave me a little bit of pause, but besides that, you're usually very fair.
But yeah, I didn't like this. What did you guys think?
I hated it. I thought the exact same thing. I'm like, why don't you, especially with AEW, they're so good about telling long stories. Why don't you tell a story about Jungle Boy coming in and Luchasaurus turning on him, or at least Luchasaurus showing, man, here I am, a grown man talking about a guy named Luchasaurus, and maybe have Luchasaurus like kind of play it out for a month, it really seemed like this was the only reason they did this was to pop a crowd. It would have been so much better, in my mind, if I have the pencil, where Luchasaurus beats down Jungle Boy. Like, Jungle Boy comes back, he gets the big reaction, his music plays, everybody sings along with it, and then Luchasaurus makes it look like, I was hoping that Luchasaurus was going to make it look like he was standing with Jungle Boy and then turn on him again. And then they fuck Jungle Boy up.
That's exactly what I was hoping.
That's what I thought was going to happen.
So he can give him like a Russian leg sweep.
Yes. That would have been, man, that would have been money, actually. That would have been fucking badass. I legit, as much as I can hate something in wrestling, which is not very much at all, because I only hate it when I'm talking about it here, but man, I fucking hated it.
Yeah, I agree. It felt really rushed.
So rushed.
Where
Luchasaurus wearing all black, but Luchasaurus wearing the all black mask with the black tongue instead of the green and the green tongue, they got me caring about it.
I wanted to see where it goes.
Into it.
I wanted to see now you have Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy in the same spot.
I love Christian Cage as a heel. I mean, I just love him so much, but I love him with a heater also.
I think, and that's what I think part of the problem is, at least with the three of us, is that we imagine that Jungle Boy would have to go through Luchasaurus to get to Christian Cage. And that's usually how it works. It made sense that way. The fact that it's only been a few weeks and now Luchasaurus inexplicably flipped on Jungle Boy to begin with, and now, only a few weeks later, has flipped again.
Maybe they have a longer story to tell. I hope they do.
If this is okay, they've already kind of jacked it up because they've jacked up the Luchasaurus portion of the program.
For sure. Which was the wild card.
Right. I have much more. I'm agreeing with you. I got much more interest in a heel Luchasaurus versus, what we've seen before. We've seen that before.
Wait, what'd you say?
I had much more interest in
before that, you said...
he said they jacked up the Luchasaurus portion.
No, and then you said I'm
agreeing with you.
He's heating up.
Oh, motherfucker! Fuck you.
I gotta say, I'm still dying.
No,
that's gotta be like an all-time favorite sentence of mine. It's a brand new sentence that nobody's ever said in their entire lives. Just they jacked up the Luchasaurus portion of the.
Well, they did jack it up. They jacked it up. I mean, come on,
man.
They
jacked it up.
That's some big show shit. That's some big show shit. He would be a heel on week 1, and then by week 4, he flips to babyface. You can't do that, okay? We just made him a heel, and it just really started to get good. And now you bring Jungle Boy back. Now I'm like, okay, are you going to whack this motherfucker with the chair? I'd rather them just have the face-to-face and tell us why he flipped on Jungle Boy to begin with. We never got that.
Name this episode, they jacked up the Luchasaurus portion of the program.
266.
Okay, there we go. I love that.
I just don't get it. I'm not a huge fan of it. I hope there is something bigger than this, but I don't know where they go with this now, because now I'm just like, okay, just bring me Jungle Boy and Christian Cage for All Out, and let's just move on.
We're all in agreement. Are we also all in agreement that whichever gun club son challenging the Acclaim to a rap battle is a terrible idea?
Horrible. More sports entertainment.
Well, it's not just for them as a bad idea because they'll lose, but it's also going to be a bad. It's going to be a bad segment.
Yes, very much.
Not only is it going to be a bad segment, but the one gun club brother who is not the one in the rap battle,
Colton.
That guy looks like a fucking buster. Like, I have never noticed that dude's haircut or what his fucking chest looks like. It's like, dude, either get on steroids, shave your head, or get the fuck off my TV, because you look like a fucking buster, dude. He looks like if you come across like a foursome when you're playing golf and you're talking to 3 of them and there's one that's clearly a douche and he's kind of hanging back and he's kind of talking about stuff, like in the background he's saying stuff that's not funny and like everybody's having a good time except you're like, oh, I'm going to completely ignore this asshole back there. That's what that dude looks like. I fucking hate that dude. I mean, maybe he can wrestle. I don't know. I don't really watch Gun Club fucking segments. but fuck, man, that guy looks
out.
Fucked. He stands out. He stands out like a fucking
in ring, motherfucker.
I've never noticed that guy before, and I was like, man, I wish I never saw this dude talk. That's like a dude with like a 90 IQ whose dad was fucking rich, who gets this great job, like fucking making tons of money at some financial firm, and he just fucking fails upward the entire time. Marries some super hot chick, but he's got no idea how to go down on a woman. He's just a fucking idiot. That's what that guy looks to. What's his name? Colton? You know what their real last name is?
I don't know.
It's Kip.
That's right.
Billy Gunn's name is
Brian Kip.
Billy Gunn's name is Monty Kip. That's his name in real life. Yeah. So you're saying that guy's name is Colton Kip?
I don't. Okay, look.
I'm calling that guy out right now. Come find me, Colton Kip. I will fucking whoop your ass.
Fucking we are going to have
with your fucking weird looking chest.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
Bill
God.
can take a chop, so this might actually be interesting.
I won't have to take a chop from Colton Kip. Guy will be eating out of my fucking ass before the end of the fucking night. Fuck. God damn, that guy's weird.
I'm so
looking.
glad I did not take a drink.
Anyway, here's
what happened.
Right, safe haven, my ass.
I just hate.
I'm turning this shit off.
I hate the way that guy looks. I hate the way he looks.
This is not how I expected the discussion of
Not at all.
the brief discussion of the rap.
God, that is a weird looking
I thought
dude.
we'd all just say rap battle sucks. We're moving on. This motherfucker over here.
I'm actually kind of looking forward to the rap battle.
He talked himself into it.
No, I was actually kind of looking forward to what happened. I was like, oh, that sounds fun.
Bill just sold the rap battle better than
Right.
Austin, Billy, or Kip.
Watch if Austin loses. Bill Veilley comes from the stands next week on the Band for Ringside podcast.
Colton Kip.
Eating out of my ass.
Eating out of my ass. Better than the Luchasaurus portion of our program, okay?
You guys, like, it's just so uncomfortable just looking at him. It's like, ugh, God.
Move on, Zach. Move on.
All right. So we had a FTW championship match. Cole Carter versus Absolute Ricky Starks. Not much to say here. Ricky Starks is ready for the main event. Cole Carter is barely ready for television.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
You guys thought it was that bad of a match?
I agree 100%.
Okay.
I think Ricky Starks fucking rules. I think Cole Carter, it was a nice little 3 minutes that he had, but I'm glad that Ricky Starks squashed him basically. Now, what happened next is where me and Zach are going to split. I guarantee.
I'm waiting for this.
Oh yeah, so he finishes Cole Carter, pretty quickly, and says he's got more in the tank. So he asks for another contender, and Danhausen comes out, and of course, Ricky Starks being a heel, he's like, he's like, I said I'm more in the tank, but I was really talking about next week. And then he said like one of the greatest lines. Like, everybody starts booing when he said he was talking about next week. He's like, shut up, idiots. You could watch it on TV.
Right. you act like you ain't going to see this if it happens right here, right now.
Ricky Starks is, I'll tell you what.
He's money.
You know what he's doing?
He's heating up.
He is starting to, like, feel his oats. You know what I mean? Like, he's starting to get what his character is and really starting to, become himself on the mic.
I've never thought his problem was on the mic. I think he's a great promo. He's one of those guys that you can give the microphone to at any point.
I think the BFR podcast has been very pro Ricky Starks.
For sure.
From the jump.
For sure. I liked him in NWA. I thought he would be somebody that if he came to AEW, he would be good for AEW, and it's a slow incline up. I'm not asking for a rocket ship to the title. I just want to make sure that Ricky Starks is in the conversation a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now if he stays with AEW. Danhausen coming out is interesting in the sense is because it's the fact that it's the FTW championship and it doesn't suit Danhausen very well. Now, if you want to play the, I don't give a shit about the FTW title, then you give it to Danhausen next week. If not, I would like to still see Ricky Starks hold on to that for as long as humanly possible until we get him I won't say legitimate, but a recognized AEW championship, whether it's tag team, singles, whatever.
I tell you why Danhausen came out. It's because of the connection with Hook. Hook's the next FTW champion.
Good call.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If that's where they go, if Hook beats Ricky Starks, which that would cause, obviously, friction in the Team Taz house.
Can I ask a super stupid question?
No such thing as stupid questions.
Where'd the FTW belt come from? Was it?
It's a Taz creation.
That's it?
It was ECW at the time. What they say, it's only been 4 guys to ever hold it. Ricky Starks, Taz, Brian Cage, and then there was somebody in between, Sabu. So that's your 4 guys. So, I mean, a lot of this was
Sabu?
Sabu. Had to take it off of Taz.
So it was just Taz and Sabu until AEW came around?
Well, I won't say them fight. I won't say it was those two fighting for the title.
That's
like it was the only two
I kind of like
in
that
division. But yeah, I was going to say you got those are your 4 FTW champions. So in that scenario, it would be a little weird if we put Danhausen as number 5. If we did that, I would. if it's Hook, if it's Danhausen, then Ricky Starks needs to move up. That's ultimately where I'm going with it.
I got some Sabu coming on later in the pod.
The fuck?
Well, there's a barbed wire match, and Sabu
Yeah,
had some good barbed wire matches.
Okay.
All right, what was next, Zach?
Then we had, I did say that the highlight of the match highlight of the show for me was that tag team match, but the absolute highlight of the show for me was this FTR promo, which the first part was Cash Wheeler, just talking about the Briscoes, and the second part, they give this microphone to Dax Harwood, and he, this is like my promo of the year right now, spoiler alert. We're at July, so we're in the back half of the year. This is my promo of the year for the Beavers, where Dax Harwood cut the promo saying there was a 5-year-old girl, went to the doctor, found out, they put that stethoscope on her chest and her back, found out she had a hole in her heart. She had a regular heartbeat, and they told that little girl that if you work hard and you do everything right, that maybe you could avoid open heart surgery. And that little girl went to the doctor when she was 8 years old after working her ass off, and they told her that she doesn't need surgery. And that little girl was my daughter. And I'm just like, oh my God. And he's like, Briscoes, he's like, whenever you see me at Justice for Dishonor, I'm going to fight like an 8-year-old girl.
That's a girl dad. That's a girl dad for you.
No, he made it come full circle, and that's what the great part about it is.
I'm talking about Zach.
Yeah, it was just like
you two.
It was like that. It was like
What?
that. You remember the Super Bowl
I have a
commercial,
daughter.
the fight like a girl, the run like a girl, the throw like a girl commercial from the Super Bowl a few years back.
Ronda Rousey, yeah.
Remember that? Yeah, and it was like, I was crying at the Super Bowl, watching that shit. It was just so great.
No, I fell asleep when you mentioned Ronda Rousey, not the promo.
It wasn't her specifically.
No, I know.
She was on it. Yeah.
God damn, you ain't shit, man. What the fuck?
I mean, this was a good promo.
No, it was a great promo.
I knew that it was his daughter from the beginning, though. That wasn't
Even
a surprise,
still.
was it?
No,
Well,
that
that'd
was a
be
surprise.
somebody
It was just-
related.
yeah.
Okay, here's my whole thing about this promo, and I'm gonna pour some water on. I'm gonna pour some water on Zach's steak. Cash Wheeler. Is that his name? That's his name, right?
Look at you.
Cash Wheeler. He was the first guy that talked.
Look at you. My boy. Tell the white people apart.
With a haircut like my 15-year-old nephew.
Stop.
He does. He's got the exact same haircut. Bo sees him. Around.
Let
He's got
that
that fucking
man
haircut.
live. Okay? I ain't going to talk about nobody that's got hair around here.
That guy is on the mic. Not in the ring. He's good. On the mic, he is a charisma black hole. He just sucks. He seems like somebody that's going out there to talk about a charity that's never been on TV before. He's like, I'm never going to get used to that type of reaction. Hey, people.
I still don't get it.
What?
It's hard for me to wrap my head
You don't
around
get the FTR thing?
It's hard for me to wrap my head around the fact that FTR are baby faces and big time baby faces. When the Bucks came out 2 weeks before and they were talking that a whole crowd was chanting FTR, that's still weird to me.
Dax Harwood is an easy baby face. Easy baby face.
I
tell you
see
what,
it now.
In the ring, Cash Wheeler in the ring
Is easy baby face.
Yep.
He
100%.
can fight underneath, whether versus Dax, who I think, God forbid, if FTR broke apart, Dax could be easily. That promo right there showed that Dax can be a singles guy if you broke FTR apart.
Of
Cash
course.
Wheeler would be the one that would be F up.
But we've known that for 2 years now, though.
I won't say that.
I mean,
I think it's been really reinforced this year.
Remember that WrestleMania when DX came out and beat him up? Or that wasn't WrestleMania. It was Raw 1500 or something. They were at the ballroom. They weren't in the main place. Do you remember that?
Okay, yeah. It was the whole Too Sweet thing where it was like the Bullet
DX
Club.
came out and beat up the Revival.
Yeah.
Dax Harwood was great in that segment. His buddy, not so much. What were their names in WWE?
I know you ain't gonna sit up here and try to ask me this question. What would you tell me what their name were?
Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler.
Jesus
Dash
fucking Christ.
Dash Wilder and Darjeeling Limited.
Scott Dawson.
Scott Dawson. No, I never would have gotten that. Never would have gotten that. Oh yeah, Dash and Dawson. Okay. All right. Okay. Anyway, I like this. I like this segment.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
It's a nice, easy, simple build for the FTR Briscoes 2 out of 3 falls.
Didn't want to shit on Zach's point, but I wanted to shit on Zach's point.
What's next to here?
We had Jermaine Dupri and Stokely Hathaway coming down with Jade Cargill and Kiera Hogan for a match against Athena and Willow Nightingale. Literally, like it was funny. Like, I was thinking this, and I'm not saying this is why, and I'm not being critical, but it's just like, oh, we got like, black tag team champions. Let's get like Kevin Gates out there. Now we got a match with like all the black women. Let's just get Jermaine Dupri
out there. I'm
and
like,
after the party, it's the after party.
I get it. Jermaine Dupri's from Atlanta. I get it.
Yep.
It's
surprised
just
they didn't
too
have goddamn
much,
Outcast
man.
out there. They
Damn.
were just too busy.
Outcast ain't got shit to do. Ain't got time for AEW, man. Fuck that. You ain't cutting the check big enough for Outcast at this point. Especially when they can't get along. Shit. Ain't no way.
Andre 3000 wants a little bit more than 3,000.
Let's say you're going to have to cut 2 checks. One for Big Boy and one for Andre 3000. Go ahead. I'll let you finish.
But yeah, I mean, Jade Cargill pins Willow Nightingale. Match was like fine. Athena was kind of the breakout here. Jade's very impressive, but she just needs more time in the ring, and that's really all I have to say about this.
One thing I will say about this match is the person that wasn't in the match is Chris Statlander. Brett from Brainbuster Boys, obviously part of the Visionary Global Media Network. Go check them out if you have the chance. I suggest you do. He threw out something to me about Chris Statlander flipping heel, and I kind of brushed it off. Last night's segment where they had Willow, Chris Statlander, and Athena backstage, Chris Statlander didn't seem like she was necessarily happy that she wasn't in the match.
Yep.
Now that
she was kind of last to join into their little
right,
celebration.
and now Willow took the loss. So now it's if you're Chris Statlander, you've been passed over a couple times. You've lost the AEW championship match at least once. I think she had a second match. She lost that too. Now, if you're Chris Statlander, I think this might be the time if you want to flip her, you can flip her heel.
Okay, so this is the part of the show that I want to say where I was going to talk about black people, right? So Chris Statlander gets taken out of the match.
He's not black.
And exactly. I want to say this about Chris Statlander. Like, she has been in AEW pretty much the entire time that AEW has been around. She's a fine wrestler. I could not give a fuck about Chris Statlander. She just doesn't move the needle. And I don't mean that in a Zach Pullman way, like she doesn't move the needle like my dick's getting hard. I mean, she just doesn't move the needle.
You know what you mean, motherfucker.
No, like when I say it's a euphemism for my dick getting hard, But I just
know what you mean, motherfucker.
So Chris Statlander, fine, she's out of the match, whatever. Now it's Jade Cargill, who is a big bright shining star. She rings out Kiera Hogan, fine, another lady of African descent, another African American.
I can't wait to see where this ends up.
Versus Athena, who is a black woman, versus Willow Nightingale, who is a black woman, with Stokely Carmichael on the outside, who is a black man.
I have said this, but go ahead.
What did I say? Stokely Carmichael?
Yeah.
Oh, the Black Panther?
He ain't a Black Panther.
No, sorry. Cut that out. Stokely Hathaway. I almost did it again. You just got me high.
What? Thank you. Somebody who is a visual. Go ahead. The witness.
But I've said this about Vince for a long time, and it seems like Tony Khan is doing the exact same thing, where like all black people have to be in the same segment. What the fuck is that? Why do they do that? Do they think it looks better on TV?
It's the skirt business.
It's just so fucking weird to me that okay, so they have all these segments with no black people. Swerve in Our Glory is in there, and then it's basically a comedy segment with a Big Pun's son. Like it couldn't get more black. They're like, who else could it be? It's like, oh, it's Two Shorts, twin girls or something. So then there's no black people again. They even have Danhausen, who they have tons of dudes wearing makeup.
Ricky Starks is black. We made that joke. Ricky Starks is black.
Okay, yeah. So is Powerhouse Hobbs, though. He's in a tag team with a black dude.
Ricky Starks is black. If you look like Tiger, you're on our side. You are too Tiger looking.
I'm not here to judge anybody's blackness. What I'm here doing is I'm judging the booking of these non-black people who feel the need to put all these black people in the same segment every time. It's kind of like segregation. I'm just saying, it's kind of fucking weird that it always happens like this. Why is there no white people? And I'm not saying white people need a bigger chance. I'm saying Jade Cargill needs a bigger chance.
Okay, so if you're going to go that route where Jade Cargill...
I hope that made sense. Did that make sense?
It took the long way around, but we're there. Jade Cargill has to go over someone that is bigger than her. At this point, it's Britt Baker. And that's it. There is nobody else.
I was going to say Athena's
ass. Britt Baker is the one of Caucasian descent that you would have her go over. From that point, I would have to kind of agree with it. It felt WWE again.
Jade needs to be like Goldberg.
She is.
I know, until Sasha Banks comes back and beats her.
Go move on, Two Beers. Move on. No, I'm not even entertaining Sasha Banks going to AEW just yet.
All right, what's next, Zach?
All right, we're gonna drive our Mercedes straight to the barbed wire everywhere death match. Really, started out with a bang. I mean, we had the Jericho Appreciation Society come out, get in the shark cage. You knew there was going to be shenanigans whenever they showed Ruby Soho holding the key and the controls to the shark cage. But, starts out with a bang. Jericho comes out as the Painmaker. Eddie Kingston comes out, stalking down the aisle, grabs the microphone out of Justin Roberts' hand, which is wrapped in barbed wire. There's barbed wire everywhere. That's what the match is called. And he starts smacking Chris Jericho in the head, who, just fully blades on camera. Just watch Jericho.
He was not hiding it. It was such a blade job.
You you hit me? Gotcha. All right, we're good. No, we're good. We're
it's like, is the camera off me? It's like, no, it's still on you. He's like, fuck it.
Yeah, which is what you do, but you would think that the
roll over, man. Hey, roll over.
You're gonna hit me. Yeah, it's like you're gonna hit me with the barbed wire, and then you need to just focus on Eddie for 15 seconds. Just let me blade. But yeah, we all just watched Chris Jericho blade, and I mean,
God bless
as far
him.
as the match goes, they did a lot of stuff. I won't say anything bad about the match. I will say that Eddie Kingston should have won this match because everybody wanted Eddie Kingston to win this match.
What is the point of putting Jericho over in this shit? What is the point?
Yeah, besides
may I have a cigarette, please?
Yeah. Besides all the overbooking, which was very prevalent and was just over the top. We had Anna Jay come down, turn heel on Ruby Soho, steal the key, bring them down from the shark cage so they could slip out and interfere.
Shit, they could have slipped out as far as I was concerned. They didn't even need the key to slip out. Motherfuckers was shimming out when Ty Conte couldn't even get the door open. Get the fuck out of here. The only reason they couldn't get out beforehand, it was just too high.
Can I butt in here?
Please do.
This exemplified a lot of the worst things about AEW in a few ways. This match did. It was a match that everybody wanted to see. I'm not the biggest barbed wire fan match. I'm not the biggest death match fan. It's like barbed wire. It's like fine. It's like I'd rather watch
match.
I'd rather watch shit just in the ring. I'd rather watch just two guys go at it in the ring and tell me a compelling story for 20 minutes.
But this is a blood feud at this point, so there has to be some sort of step.
Okay, I guess, but barbed wire match ain't it. It's just so contrived, and it's so... That's not the point. I want to see this match. I want to see Eddie Kingston get his hands on Y2J. I want to see him make Y2J pay. First of all, he made him pay at the very end after he lost the match. So what's the point of him losing the match? This did not seem like a blow-off. This should be a blow-off type of match. And it did not seem like a blow-off. Second of all, they were short on time, and they were short on time because TK shoves so much shit into every episode. He doesn't let anything breathe. I think he just wants... this is me being generous, but I think he just wants to get guys on TV, get gals on TV so they can get paid. I think that's why he has all sorts of factions everywhere. And I hope that's the case. The third thing is, you know what? I forgot the third thing. The wrong guy went over. The wrong guy went over.
That's the biggest point. I'm saying it, and I'll continue to say it. I may look like an idiot. I may sound like an idiot, but that's okay.
Oh, wait, I forgot. Sorry. I forgot the most important thing. It was overbooked to all hell. It was 13 minutes long, and 3 minutes of it was Anna Jay and Tay Conti. And a minute of it was them trying to figure out the keys. Like, what the fuck? Why would you have this match between Jericho and then they had Blackpool Combat Club run down with Ortiz, and they get the fucking guys out of the shark cage? Terrible. Terrible. It was terrible. And also the end of the match was really fucking sloppy. It's like they didn't know what they were trying to do with each other.
Oh, it was so bad.
It was really bad.
Eddie Kingston missing the back fist. It was just like,
you
okay.
Could see Eddie Kingston just scream, God damn it. He was so pissed.
That was so overbooked, though. Like, he's got to shove Jericho into Sugar Daddy or whatever the fuck his name is, and then they go for the back fist, and then Ricky Starks comes out? God damn. Talk about overbooked. It means that nothing else mattered in the build-up to this match. Like, you want to see this match, you want to see these two guys fight it out in kayfabe so that one guy can win. It's like watching a TV show from week to week. And then instead, everybody comes in and nothing matters.
We're back to square one again.
Terribly booked.
And that's the biggest takeaway from it. Nothing has changed. We're going to get more of Eddie Kingston versus Jericho. And I said it, and I'll say it, and I'll say it, and I'll say it. Jericho is the biggest winner from this whole feud. We've spilled it over from Santana Ortiz, and now we're going over to the Blackpool Combat Club. Eddie Kingston, blah, blah, blah.
It's like Tony Khan feels like he can't survive a loss.
He could.
Is this him getting his win back? Like, that's so stupid. It's Jericho.
Should not have to even be worried about that. If there's anybody in AEW that is Teflon Don, it's Chris Jericho.
I'll tell you what, if fucking Seth Rollins can lose 3 times in a row to Cody Rhodes.
Okay, in that scenario, yeah, it's 3 times to Cody, but Seth Rollins is taking a bunch of L's as of late.
Anyway, I cut Zach off. We didn't get to hear the end of his thoughts. Zach was going to be like, this is my favorite barbed wire match of all time. This was match of the year for me.
No, I was just going to talk about Tay Conti's shorts, but that's it.
Oh, God. Jesus Christ. It is not right.
Hey. You ain't lying. Tay Conti was
I knew a
good.
chick from Columbia. You knew a chick from Columbia. You remember that chick from Columbia you used to know? Used to go out with Herbst?
Yes, I do.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It looks like she should be wearing like a fruit basket on her head.
Herbst
God,
outkicked his coverage on that one. Totally outkicked his coverage. God bless him.
Viviana.
Yes.
What a dish. Hope she's listening. All right. Any other thoughts about AEW Dynamite?
She ain't listening. No.
Nope.
All right. Let's get to that 3 count.
1, 2, 3.
All right. The 3 count is Ric Flair's final match. Did you guys watch the YouTube footage of the parking lot confrontation between Ric Flair, Jay Lethal, Jeff Jarrett, and Karen Jarrett?
Yes.
Did you guys watch this?
I did.
It was awesome.
It was awesome.
Dude, it's ridiculous.
It really, I'm telling you what, Jay Lethal is good, man.
Oh, yeah.
Dude could act.
No, without...
He should be in the new Fast and Furious.
And Jeff Jarrett can throw a worked punch like nobody else.
So,
like, I was never the big Jeff Jarrett fan, like, in WWF when I was a kid. But
no, I hated Jeff Jarrett.
A Memphis... Yeah, that dude throws a Memphis work punch, like, so good.
No, I hated Jeff Jarrett when he was WWF. I couldn't... I mean, it felt like he was trying to be, like, the next Shawn Michaels, and it never, ever really worked for me personally as I've gotten
to
go...
Ric Flair.
That, too, especially more so than...
How good is Jeff Jarrett his own agent? Is Karen Jarrett his agent? Because coming up in the next 2 weeks... back-to-back nights, he is going to be the referee for the... Wait, what is it? The Usos Street Profits in Nashville. And then the next night, he's fighting in Ric Flair's last match, which is Ric Flair and Andrade Cien Almas. I saw somebody call him Andrade his Cien-in-law.
Man, no.
And Jay Lethal and Double J?
Yeah, it's going down. I'm not a fan of it. I just, honestly...
What aren't you a fan of, though?
Ric Flair's last match, I saw it. It was against HBK.
Live?
No, God. That's the only WrestleMania I was in was at Phoenix.
No, well, that wasn't even his last match, was it? That was the last match he fought in?
If he lost the match, then he had to retire.
Yeah, but he's fought in matches since then, right?
Yeah, he had some
TNA. He had a run with TNA and all that other shit. Okay. So, to me, that shit don't count.
Well,
that shit don't count. That shit don't count.
Though.
That shit don't count.
I mean,
no.
It counts.
No, that shit don't count. I'm not saying, man, for 5+ years, I've been talking about, this guy should win, and then you brought in Kurt Stallion to tell me that, this is all a carnival show and wins and losses don't matter. Then fuck that. You can't have it both ways.
He had matches after that, though. Just, yeah.
Okay, you shut the fuck up.
It's like ding, ding, ding. He locked up with the guy.
Ric Flair's last match to me was against HBK when HBK put him to sleep. That's it. I don't care whatever happened after this point. I don't want to see this match either. The reason why they're going to do it, A, it's a money grab. I ain't mad at nobody forget their money.
Not at all.
B, if you're going to do it, you can't have him do a singles match. Ric Flair is past the point of singles.
How many back bumps does he take?
I'll put the over-under at 7.
Oh, I'll take way under.
I'll take under. Andrade's going to have to do some work.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going with 2. He's going to take a back body drop, and he's going to take one of those from the top rope.
Yeah, somebody's throwing him off the top.
And he's also going to do that thing where he gets punched, acts like he's normal,
walk,
and then just falls.
Okay, somebody said
that's not a bump, though.
Somebody said it on a podcast I was listening to. All we're looking for from this match is Ric Flair's greatest hits.
Listen, Ric Flair can take care of himself. I'm tired of all these.
What the fuck? No,
yes, he can.
No, he really can't.
Well, no, he knows how to not hurt himself in a wrestling ring. All these motherfucking grandpas out there who are trying to make Vince McMahon suspend Jimmy Uso because he gets another DUI, or is trying to say, I hope Ric Flair doesn't wrestle so he doesn't get hurt. Man, those motherfuckers in Japan, they wrestle to their fucking 80. He can take a bump.
Okay, all right.
He can take 2 bumps. He can throw out a bunch of chops. He can do a figure 4 leg lock. He'll be fine.
Those guys in Japan wrestling their 50s and 60s, the guys I see in Noah.
No, they're
80s.
People fight. They
They
wrestle.
don't wrestle in their 80s. Nobody wrestles in their 80s.
Some guy the other day just wrestled in his 80s.
I want to see the source on that before I start even jumping on that point. Ric Flair is not in shape.
It was Sting.
In his 80s.
Keiji Muto.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Great point. He's making his, retirement tour as we speak. You know what I'm saying?
In their 80s. I meant in the 80s. I was talking about old guys in the 80s.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's be specific on this point.
Like how long did the original Sheik fight? Like, he fought for fucking ever. Sabu was his nephew, right?
Yeah.
I guess.
Isn't that right?
Yeah. There's a book coming out about him that's supposed to be pretty good. But yeah, Sheik fought forever, but also Sheik didn't do anything. kind of like Abdul the Butcher.
I'm telling
You know, they
I'm
just
telling
didn't do
you
anything.
that Ric Flair is not going to do anything except for throw a bunch of chops and take a couple bumps. That's it. That's all
I've
he's
seen
going to
him
do.
come off the top though, like Jay Lethal's throwing him off the top, and the dude's got a pacemaker. I just hope everything goes well. Like,
I'm going to look
I
it
don't
up on
wanna-
Wikipedia right now. Oh, it says Sheik fought till he was 99 years old. That's weird. I didn't think it was that late.
Yeah,
Ooh,
right.
it said his last match was against Jimmy Carter.
It was a hammers and
Yeah.
nails match. They did it in a currently building house.
What, did you say a hammer and nails match? I'm done.
He said it was a hammer and nails match.
I'm done.
All right, his last match was when he was 72. Okay, he wasn't 80.
Okay, this is Ric Flair's age.
He was closer to 80 than he was to Zach's age.
It don't,
Maybe not closer to yours.
dude. You can kiss my ass. All right.
All right. Anyway, I'm not gonna watch this match live. Like, there's no fucking chance. Like,
I would more likely buy this card than I would
Dude.
the ROH card. Honestly.
Oh, you are out your
Come
mind. Stop.
Actually,
Stop. No, see,
Jo-
you on that bullshit.
Josh Alexander is fighting. The undercard is really
Really
good.
stacked. The undercard is
is
what I
stacked.
want to watch.
Yeah.
The main event, I could care two shits about.
But the thing is, if you have all these matches that can be main events, but the main event is Flair in a tag match, it's like they're not going to be able to. Like, every match can't be a main event. But the Briscoes are fighting also. They're fighting.
They are on that card. If I say I don't even know.
The Righteous? Yeah, they're fighting the Righteous.
I was about to say I don't.
Is that
know.
right, Bo? You got pulled up? No. Oh, I think that the Briscoes are fighting the Righteous. No, the Briscoes are fighting FTR. The Righteous are fighting.
Briscoes are fighting FTR and ROH. No,
Yeah, that's what I say.
Yes.
You're starting to confuse shit.
And it's fuck. Okay, keep talking.
I'll pull up the
Forget I said
card.
anything.
No, look, as the biggest Ric Flair fan in the group, as I'm wearing the Ric Flair T-shirt, I don't want to see this match. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. At a certain point, I think it's just time for Ric Flair to just go in the corner of Andrade or whomever he needs to go in the corner with, and just be that guy versus being the Ric Flair that I used to know 10, 15, 20 years ago.
And that's going to do it for our 3 counts.
1, 2, 3.
Zach,
So,
you're out of town.
next week,
You've been hanging out in the Holiday Inn all week.
I'm out of town. Yeah, right now this week. Next week, I am also out of town, but I'll be in a vacation house, so I should be good for the podcast. So.
No, the podcast is still going, dude. I'm asking you what you thought about Raw this week.
Oh yeah, I know the podcast is still going. I was informing you of my situation. Raw was the dirt worst. So like, I'm out of town. I'm like, dude, I'm in front of a TV, which I don't have cable TV. I cut the cord over 10 years ago because I'm a fucking prophet when it comes to capitalism. And so I just do not watch Monday Night Raw unless I will occasionally watch the Hulu version. But I'm like, I'm in a hotel. I got nothing else to do. I'd already jerked off for the day. It was 8 p.m. And I turned on Monday Night Raw. I watched the whole 3 hours. I don't know why.
He said I already jerked
off. So yeah, what else is there to do?
Yeah.
Fuck it, let's watch Raw.
And how was it?
I turned it on.
How was it?
It was so bad, and I wanted to like it. I was like looking forward to it. I'm like, oh, I can watch Monday Night Raw like live on TV. I'm like, this could be fun. I'm like, this could be fun for me. I'm like, SummerSlam's coming up. I'm like, this could be a fun thing that I could do.
Was it
not.
fun?
No,
it was terrible.
It was pretty much irredeemable. I'm trying to remember anything I liked about it.
Titus, Bianca Belair versus Carmella with Becky sitting ringside. That's when I turned it on. I was sitting at home. I turned it on before my wife came in. We started watching Reservation Dogs on Hulu. Has anybody watched that show? That show fucking rips, man.
Reservation.
That's what it's called. It's called Reservation
I
Dogs.
saw an ad for it.
It's about these it's about these 4 teenagers that live on an Indian reservation. It's really fucking good. It's like legit funny.
No, I thought you meant Reservoir Dogs. Okay, I'll take that back.
They were hunting out in the woods the other night. These 2 Native Americans, and like the white guys that own the land, they were like, "Ooh, be quiet. We don't own the land." The white guys walk by, and like they're talking to each other, and the one guy goes, "Cancel culture, wokeness." And the other guy goes, "Stock market," and then like they like fade out of sound. It was like the funniest thing I've ever seen. Man,
what the fuck?
I died laughing. It was so funny. Anyway,
oh yeah, I'm glad I don't watch that shit. That should have me pissed. Say something else, motherfucker.
No, Zach, you would
there
love
wasn't anything. I'm sure it was way better than this Raw show. There wasn't anything redeemable in this Raw show. I think the only thing. Kevin Owens was pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Which I don't think he's been on the show in a minute, but he came back.
No, he's on it every week.
No, he's been on for like 2 or 3 weeks, but this is the first time he came back and he did the KO show this week.
Okay.
Yeah, and I mean he was fun, and The Miz was trying so hard to put Logan Paul over as a babyface, and as good as Logan Paul is in the business, he's still no Pat McAfee, and the dude should actually be a heel.
Thank you.
It's retarded.
Was a god awful segment. It was so stupid. Like
it's so stupid that Logan Paul is trying to be a babyface.
It's stupid that they're trying to make him. I'm sure that it's not his call. It's WWE's call.
Apparently, and so I don't know 100%. Apparently, from what I've heard reported is. He signed the contract and he wanted to be a babyface. But essentially, they need to sit this guy down and just tell him, hey, these people don't like you.
Thank you.
Right.
Okay, they want to boo you. Okay?
And you could make a lot
more money if you just play the fucking heel.
Unless it's just all guaranteed shit. But, I mean, if I were him, I'd be asking for a piece of the take, right? Maybe like 1%? I don't know.
Man, good.
There is no take anymore. Everything's guaranteed.
That Jack Nicholson deal from Batman.
He ain't Jack Nicholson. If Roman Reigns ain't getting a piece, Logan Paul damn sure ain't getting a piece. Sorry, not sorry.
Okay.
I know, but I will say
Pat McAfee's.
And then
go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Please.
I was just going to segue because I will say that Tuesday night was a huge improvement, and I never would have thought if you would have asked me on Sunday, be like, hey, you're going to be out of town, you're going to watch wrestling all week on cable TV. What are you most looking forward to? I've been like, oh, well, Dynamite, of course. But then WWE I've been like, oh, it'll be fun to watch Raw the first time in a long time, like live and watch the whole show. And then NXT would have been dirt last. Like, I had a lot of fun with NXT.
Unbelievable.
You don't even watch it.
I got to watch this shit.
So how do you know
awesome.
then?
It was Cameron Grimes versus
Jordan Devlin, who's JD McDonough.
Jordan Devlin, whatever his new name is.
Dude, Cameron awesome. Grimes versus Jordan Devlin was good.
I'm sure it was.
That was a good match.
And then Joe Gacy.
Okay, stop.
Revealed who the two guys were.
No. See,
you know who the dyad was?
You were doing good until you came up with this.
Do you know who they are?
It's Grizzled Young Veterans. Yes, I know who it is. Okay, you can't.
Sure. I also like Roddy Strong's new character.
I don't even.
He's just yelling at everybody for no reason. I know people like that.
Fuck you, motherfucker.
What?
Okay, fuck you.
What?
Just say my name, man. Just don't subtweet me. Just say my name.
Didn't say anything.
Motherfucker, you said a lot. All right.
Just thinking about people that yell at people.
Dude, don't make me come over there. Do not make me come over there. It's like 2 or 3 steps. I can be there fairly quickly.
Zach, what's your opinion of Braun Breaker?
Yeah, I mean, he does a good job doing what he does. Looks like Jordan Devlin's going to be the next contender, and that sounds really good because Jordan Devlin, I don't know what to think about him as a person. I know that he was involved in some of that speaking out stuff. I don't know what stuck or what was real or what, but Jordan Devlin has been involved in legitimately some classic matches and some of the best matches I've seen out of the entire United Kingdom, with one person that actually is a dirtbag, David Starr, and also with Walter. And I think that JD McDonough, whatever you want to call him, and Braun Breaker, I'll be tuning in. Like, that's going to be a good match.
And then
I'll go this far. If Braun Breaker loses that, then he's on the way up.
Oh, yeah.
Braun Breaker is not losing that. Braun Breaker is the real deal. He's an actual natural.
I'm not disagreeing with
Not
that.
trying to be funny. If you watch him wrestle, he's only been wrestling for a year and a half. He has it
in the ring. I'll just go, like I said, at some point, somebody is going to have to beat either Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar.
Some might call it a pedigree. And then Zoe Stark wins the Battle Royal. So Zoe Stark makes her return to WWE, and she is going to take the belt from Mandy Rose.
What?
Because, I also love this. It subverted expectations because everybody thought Corey Jade was going to win because they did the thing where
I was thinking Nikita Lyons was going to win. That was the big scuttlebutt.
They don't do heel versus heel, though. Like, Corey Jade is not going to fight Mandy Rose.
Well,
Nikita Lyons is the one that I was thinking of. Yeah.
They did the thing in the match where they always do, where Corey Jade got quote-unquote eliminated, but she didn't go over the top, and then she snuck in underneath, and you 100% thought that Corey Jade is going to win because that's the bullshit that they always pull. And they did not. And Zoe Starks knocked out Corey Jade in an actual essence of long-term storytelling because Toxic Attraction, that group, was the ones that took her out like 8 months ago. So I applaud them.
Is Shawn Michaels the head booker on NXT?
Essentially, yes.
Yeah, he's the guy.
All right, Zach, anything else you want to say about how much you loved, main roster WWE?
Pleasantly surprised. I might actually watch NXT next week. That's how I was entertained, and if I have the time, I might do it.
Hell yeah!
I've lost you, Zach. You're dead to me.
From Ringside.
We got tons of birthdays this week. Maybe the biggest birthday week we've ever had. Fabian Eichner, better known these days as Ludwig Kaiser. He's 32.
Horrible.
The Fabulous Moolah would have been 99, R.I.P. David Von Erich would have been 64, R.I.P. HBK would have been 57, R.I.P. Wait. Still alive?
He was born again. What's his actual age?
He said he was born again.
Undertaker buried him 2 WrestleManias in a row as far as I'm concerned. Fandango.
Oh, yeah.
Love him. 41. Kenny King is 41. Same day as Fandango. Akira Tozawa is 37. Tori Wilson, 47.
Oh, that's it?
The aforementioned...
She's missing her $7.5 million.
The aforementioned Zack Sabre Jr. is 35. Angelo Dawkins is 32. Finn Balor is 41. Roderick Strong is 39. Marty Scurll is 34. Tessa Blanchard, is she the racist?
She's the racist. She just had one of her first matches in like 2 years recently.
Well, everybody deserves a second chance.
Everything.
What?
Tessa Blanchard.
You mean the seventh chance?
27.
Like 7-7.
The original Doink the Clown. 65. Dolph Ziggler is 42. Hunter Hearst Helmsley is 53. Shannon Moore, you remember him, is 43. And Hangman Page is 31.
Wow. That's it.
Rabbit fever, middle of the night.
Hey, everybody. We know there's tons of podcasts to listen to, so we appreciate you guys listening to our podcast. For Vice.
Check.
For Joey O'Farrell.
Check.
For Jinder Mahal.
Check.
For Patriot Pat.
Check.
For Murray the Murray Man Murray.
Double
for
check.
Lucha Chris.
Double check.
For my dog Reba, who's
Check.
really just dealing with us at this point.
She
for my
inside. She's
daughter Edna May, who's
Sleep like
had
a motherfucker.
too good for too long. For 2 beers, Zach Coleman. For Jason Cornelius Bell. Support your local restaurants. Support your local wheel dealers. I am Bill Vagey, and everybody never, ever, 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 ever forget to boo the heels.
Boo!